as far as the sentencing ranges is that Mr. Vandenburg would be a standard offender, so that for the 5 counts of aggravated rape would be 15 to 25 years, no release eligibility. The 2 aggravated sexual batteries, 8 to 12 years at 100%, and the unlawful photography Class E felony would be 1 to 2 years at 30%. So,
correct.
Obviously, a parameter of 15 to 151 years, if my math is correct. But essentially, beginning with the sentencing matter, the state would move to introduce a copy of the pre-sentence report, and also as a collective exhibit, as much as and both sides agree that there is an error in that the pre-sentence writer apparently copied the enhancement factors that were listed in Mr. Beatty's sentencing report, which to clear that up would strike that from the pre-sentence report and instead submit as a collective exhibit the statement of enhancement factors that the state has filed.
All right, and I have reviewed those enhancement factors.
Yes, sir, I have.
All right, Mr. Reagan, with respect to the pre-sentence report, do you have any objections or corrections other than those that have the state has submitted?
Not other than as stated by the state. Just want to make it clear we're not agreeing that those enhancement factors exist. But those are the ones that should have been reported in the PSI. But based on the state's notice.
All right, any proof from the state?
For one thing, there are statements made by Mr. Finley in that tape that
You know, I'm very well aware of all aspects of this case. We've all lived with it for over 3 years. So whatever is untruthful will be considered for that particular reason.
Your Honor, I don't mean to interrupt. Mr. Clovis should finish all day.
No, go ahead.
Not only did we have an investigator investigate the allegations that Mr. Finley made against Mr. Vandenburg, and they were found out to be not true, the state also investigated that. We received a report from Mr. Thurman, a letter indicate with an attachment indicating that was not true. I have that available if you'd like to see it. Additionally, Joseph Quizno stated that was not true. And I don't understand how the state can take a piece of evidence that is false and play it. And I know what they're doing. They want to play it to the public. And it just seems that Mr. Vandenburg's due process rights, equal protection rights, and not only that, for Tennessee board rules are being violated because they're knowingly going to put on false evidence.
Thank you. Judge, we object to that.
If you listen to the tape, this lady would have not known what happened because what Mr. Finley said, he was told, is he almost got caught because it didn't dissolve. And he almost got caught. So we sent an investigator out there to see if this woman even existed and if she knew Mr. Vandenburg. He found out she did exist. She knew Mr. Vandenburg. And at no time did we ever think she would know about this incident, because I think if you look at the transcript and listen to the tape, he says he almost got caught. He said trying to do it, it wasn't successful, he almost got caught, so it didn't disprove it at all. But I don't know whether Mr. Quinzio said this didn't happen. I don't know if there's any rest of Mr. Quinzio was present. Mr. Quinzio since told us, since he heard her name, that he recalls the same conversations. I mean, we could get Mr. Quinzio, I guess, but he said many different things for a period of time, but that's not an issue here. But if you look at the transcript, he does not say that this woman would have known it happened. So I remember
Well, as I say,
obviously, we're not trying to put in testimony we know is not true. We sent an investigator to verify if there was a woman with this name and if she knew Mr. Vandenburg. We found out she did. And I think what Mr. Finley told us, it was an attempt and that she knew nothing about it.
To respond briefly, Your Honor, throughout the whole evidence in Mr. Finley's immunity agreement, Mr. Thurman was present, and Mr. Finley references Mr. Quizno being there and knowing about what Mr. Finley is talking about. Then on another interview with Mr. Quizno, and I have the transcript, Mr. Thurman is present, and he asked Mr. Quizno, has he ever discussed date rape drugs with you or used them? Quizno, no. Thurman, so you're not aware of any incident where he has attempted to do that? Quizno, no. So he's directly, I mean, Mr. Quizno is directly contradicting Mr. Finley's immunity agreement where he said he was, Mr. Quizno was present. And it's in the transcript, and I have a copy if you'd like to see it.
well, as I said, I am going to listen to the tape. I'm going to take it for what it's worth, all right?
And Judge, consideration of that, we tender a document that is, I'm sure, buried somewhere in all of the various documents, which was filed with the clerk back on April the 8th, 2014, which is a response in counsel seeing this, which contains Mr. Finley's sworn affidavit as to the truth of this, which has exhibit to this hearing.
All right.
Yes.
Tom's here as well. No. This is Sergeant Mike. Well, Tom's getting settled. I'll give you a copy of the use immunity. It's the same one I sent you, but with a corrected date. I thought he was.
City Mark.
Oh, okay, well, he'll be here just a second.
You like the police department?
Oh, yeah, he's got here. We were, yeah, chatting. He's got his tape recorder. All right. Start the tape.
I just wanted to tell you I suspect you talked with Detective Mayo about this. I think Mr. Finley greatly regrets that back on July 25th, when the search warrant was executed at his home, that he was not more forthcoming. A lot has happened a lot since then. He spent 6 days in jail in California. I think he was treated as if he was charged with rape. He was in protective custody. He has not been permitted to play football this year. And his parents tell me there was a period of about 7 days where television and newspapers had stories of a local player charged in rape case. Media didn't do a very good job of distinguishing him and others. So I think Miles has considered his relationship with Brandon. Brought him into this.
Well, let me just start by saying that for the record, we do have a tape recorder going, so that you know that. And again, for the record, I'm Catherine Morante, and that is assistant. I'm an assistant district attorney. He's the deputy district attorney. Sergeant Mike Shreve, who is the sergeant over sex abuse. Detective Jason Mayo, who I think you previously met, is unavailable today. But Sergeant Shreve is very familiar with the case and has been working on it. I know you talked with your attorney about what we're doing here today, but just to be clear, the agreement that we signed means that nothing you say today can be used against you. So I really want you to understand that the only way that you can hurt yourself today is by not telling the truth. That's the only way anything you say today can be used against you. So anything you know about what happened. Any other activity that you know about or even maybe have been involved in the past that we may talk about cannot be used against you. So, this is basically your chance to tell the truth. And again, I'm sure Mr. McAvoy's told you that that's what's important. Okay? And I think I'll let Sergeant Shreve just start out by asking a few questions and we'll get started.
Like I said, this is your day to be here. I mean, everything that comes out of this, nothing can be used against you anyway. Just a little bit of background. How long have you known Brandon?
Probably since I was about 10, maybe a little bit younger. I'd say 10 years.
Okay. And what kind of relationship do you all have?
We weren't really friends up until high school when we started playing football together. Just, teammates, and we'd work out together and hang out on weekends, and he'd come over and eat dinner at my house and spend the night, and we'd always hang out, and we're pretty good friends.
Okay. So basically, once y'all started playing high school football together, and y'all got a little bit closer. So about his family, were you close with his family? His family, your family, and his family close?
Not the families, but I knew his family, he knew my family. We knew each other,
And I know Detective Maycon was stuck with you at night. And I don't have his notes with me, but I've talked to him enough to know kind of what was said that night. And all I want to just offer right now, let's just kind of recap of maybe what you told him that night. That particular night that this incident took place, we know you received some text messages from Brandon, and you replied back to Brandon. What did you take out of those text messages in the video? Because we know there was a video.
Could you explain that differently?
Yeah, I mean, from the text messages, especially the video that you saw, what did you see from that made you think, okay, what's going on here? What some of the text messages, especially with your replies? I mean, we can get on anything, just kind of back over them. I think one of them is drop kick that bitch, or
kick her out,
or gangbanger.
I'd been drinking that night, and I received a text, at 12:50, and I was in bed, asleep, and I did not take it as something that was actually happening, like a serious thing. From what I saw, it wasn't good.
Okay, what type of video did you see? What did you
The
see?
first video I received was female on the floor and looked like in a hallway, and her skirt was hiked up, and you could see there was no audio, and you could see like a flash from the camera, like people were taking pictures, and that was about 10 seconds. The second video I received was like a girl laying down and her skirt hiked up, and a black guy just stuck his finger in her vagina. And that was also about 10 seconds.
Okay. Is that the only videos that you received?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What did you do with those videos after that?
Well, we had that text conversation that went back and forth for, a little bit. And the next morning, or that night actually, I spoke to my girlfriend on the phone, and I told her, I said, I got these videos from Brandon, they're gross. And I told her what it was in it, and the next day we were sitting on my couch, and she asked to see them, and I said, no, you don't want to see that, it's gross. And she's like, okay, well, delete it off your phone. And I deleted them.
Okay. Did you have any type of phone conversation that night with Brandon?
No.
Okay. What about the following days? Did you have
Yes.
any conversation with Brandon? What did he tell you was going on? What did he tell you happened?
He said he changed the story a few times. The first thing he told me is he passed out and he didn't know what happened. And the black guys just did it. When he was still in Vandenburg, still here, it seemed like life was normal, like that it never happened. He went out to the lake next weekend with the guys and partied or something. I remember him telling me. It just really didn't seem like, anything happened.
Okay, so he never mentioned anything that he did. What did he talk about as far as what the black guys did? I mean, that's what he put it.
I don't know, they just had sex with her.
Well, you said that he had told various stories. First, the black guys did it, he was passed out, then life got back to normal. Did he ever tell you a different story?
Yeah, when he got back, after things, like the case started and everything, he said, oh, I passed out and woke up and just didn't do anything, but I saw it.
Did you ever challenge him on that and say, well, wait a minute, you were sending me videos?
But after he told me that, he said he never passed out, and they were so drunk that they couldn't get an erection, and no one did anything. And then I was like, dude, come on. What are you just feeding me lies, or like you gonna keep changing your story? So that was that.
He never said that was the final thing that he said.
Yeah,
Said that.
before he got arrested, that's what he said.
One of the text messages that you sent to him while it was going on, that you mentioned that one about kick the adage or getting there, but the other one was don't let it wake up. Did you remember texting that?
No, but I've seen that.
Okay, yeah. Can you tell me where that came from or what?
Just because it looked like it was wrong, and a girl wouldn't like that if that was happening.
I guess one of the things that we're interested in, and you probably are aware, is were there was there a great drug involved? What do you know about that? Because it seems a little odd to say. I mean, how do you make somebody not wake up? So what was that all about?
Well, when someone's drunk, they'll be able to wake up out of something. So I didn't, at the time, I didn't know anything about date rape. But I remember a time in high school, Brandon tried to use something, a pill of some sort. I'm not sure if it was roofies, but his dad gave it to him, and he told him it loosens women up. And his dad used it, and he gave it to him probably his junior year in high school. And he tried to use it on a girl, and he didn't break the pill up. And he almost got caught because the girl finished her drink, and the pill was just sitting at the bottom. But he grabbed the drink and took it before she found it out. But I know Brandon's tried to do that before.
Did he tell you that?
I was not present. It was a conversation between him and Joey, and like maybe another guy. I know Joey was there for sure. And I wasn't in the conversation because it was at a party, I didn't attend. And I was just there.
And where was this finish? Was it high school?
Palm Desert,
Palm Desert.
Xavier.
Have you ever known to try anything like that or to talk about anything like that yet?
Not date rape, but Brandon, when he went to USD, he would tell me, oh, I picked up on some really drunk girl, and it seemed like he would target girls who are not in the right state of mind.
How long did, I think you sort of answered this a little bit, I'm sorry to treat you at the beginning, but any other information that you might have about Brandon's dad, obviously? It's only one dad.
Rod is not a normal father.
What do you mean by that?
He is
I don't know how much, with regard to Ms. Vandenburg's father, but I do not think that would be appropriate. Can that be skipped over?
Judge, we would have a transfer, we tender a draws for review next
Yes, please.
little bit. And council has transcript as well.
All right. Well, show me where it starts.
Oh, I'm sorry, is it page 12? That's where we are.
And Judge, we would object to playing this entire audio.
I understand.
Mr. Finley did not testify at the trial, our trial, and we have not been able to cross-examine him about this statement. We would object to violation of our right to confrontation.
And Judge, that's all all the same as rebuttal to the letters that the defense has submitted and
We still have a right of confrontation.
Not numbered, just,
oh, I'm,
well, just,
because this one is numbered.
oh, well, listen, let's see. Okay, very good. Well, if you could just skip over to page 13, and if you could start, if it at all possible, with line 7, then that would be okay. There's just a little small portion that I don't think is appropriate to be played here, and that was referencing Mr. Vandenburg's father. And if you start, say, toward the middle of page 13, then that would be fine.
We are on,
I'm sorry, I'm just saying that since Mr. Vandenberg's father wrote a letter on his behalf, it was our position on this.
Well, I
Put that in
understand.
perspective, but yes, we'll,
Cut the volume down.
and there's a portion there towards the top of page 13 where Mr. Finley is asked if Mr. Vandenberg had ever told.
Accident, how I saw it.
And before, did that kind of show him, these are the kind of pills that you need to take to kind of loosen women up? Did he ever say anything, he tried to slip something or did something in the girl that's your family?
No, sir.
So once he's been back to California, and I know, how did you y'all talk since he's been arrested that he's come back?
He had came out and practiced with our football team during summer, just to run drills and stuff.
And that's been after he's been arrested here?
He was arrested here.
Well, yeah, actually,
He got in trouble here. Yeah. When he
so
came
that's
back.
been after, since he's been back to California?
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of conversations have y'all had since then? Has he asked you to not say anything, to keep your mouth shut, to kind of lie for him?
Keep my mouth shut. He told me not to talk to the cops at all, and I did. He just really said, don't talk to the cops. Just give him your phone and say you want to talk to a lawyer. He seemed really confident in like nothing's gonna happen to him because the girl wasn't pressing charges or something, and she was being difficult, and he really didn't want you guys to be able to see that video. I just remember that. He really it was, if you guys found the video, he would get in trouble, and if you didn't, everything would be okay.
Could he specifically ask you about the video and what happened to him?
Yeah, he asked me if I deleted it, and I did.
Did he ask you to delete that video?
Yes. He asked me to delete it that night, the text.
And then you deleted it after you spoke with your girlfriend?
I deleted it the next morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was there also something about Brandon wanting your laptop and that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Just tell us about
Yes, there was. Brandon wanted to make sure the video hadn't backed up on my laptop.
that. Mm-hmm.
But I didn't have iCloud,
Mm-hmm.
so just the video just wasn't ever there.
But he wanted you to give him the laptop?
Yes.
And did you do that?
No.
Okay, so he never actually got
No.
the laptop from you, even though he texted you several times about wanting the
Yes.
laptop?
Yeah. It just never
It just- Now, in addition to deleting the messages that you talked, the video that you talked about, your phone was also wiped clean. Did you do that?
I did it on the way to when this report was at Kaylee's house, and she was right down the street from me. And I had stuff on my phone between me and her, and I just didn't want the police to see it. And it wasn't even the original phone I received that video on, so I just have to reset it.
What happened to the original phone?
The original phone had been destroyed.
And what was it?
Originally, before the investigation, or maybe around the time Brandon had came back, Brandon was being advised by a man named Albert Perez. He was Brandon's ex-girlfriend from high school, father, and he's an attorney.
Yeah, this
And
information has to be stopped.
when all this was going on,
This has been decided already, this is irrelevant.
Well, again, I said that I would allow it, I will take it for what it's worth. What he's saying about you is not, that's just what he's saying. All right?
Brandon's mom said, "Oh, this is Brandon's attorney, he's representing Brandon." Albert advised me and Joey to destroy the original phones, not destroy, but to give them to Brandon to destroy, and Brandon got us new iPhones. And said, if the police, they're going to come, this is Albert advising us, me and Joey, and telling Brandon to do this. The police are going to come, they're going to take your phone, and there's going to be nothing on it, so you're not going to be involved in this case, and, nothing's going to come of it. So what happened is me and Brandon and Shauna, Brandon's mother, went to the Sprint store, and me and Shauna switched phones. So all my stuff went on her phone, all her stuff went on, we traded. About a week later from that, Brandon said, "Oh, my mom needs her phone back." So we met up again. Brandon had bought me a new iPhone. I gave his mom back her phone, and he took my original phone and destroyed it.
When you said Mr. Perez was advising you of all this, you and Mr. Quinzo, was this on the phone or in person?
On the phone.
Okay. Who initiated that call? As far as you know.
He did.
He called you.
He called me, and I called him before because I'd have questions, and I wasn't sure about all this. And he even spoken to my girlfriend the day the search warrant was executed. He would call her like 8 times, telling her, "Go get Miles. Don't let him say anything to the police. He doesn't have to be there."
And then we checked on the double hearsay it was taken.
Yes.
What's her name?
Well, I'm
Caitlin Estrada.
Caitlin?
Estrada.
So how did you know the police were at your home for search warrant at that point? How did that get worked?
My brother called me.
Right.
And he's like, "Look, there's 15 policemen here looking for you." Then he handed the phone to whoever was supervising in charge. And he said, "We got to talk to you. We're looking for you. Just come." So I went.
It was at that point that you went back?
Yeah, yes.
And you're saying that there was nothing on that phone related to this case, just
No.
personal stuff? between you
No,
and people?
yes.
Have you talked with Joey? How close are you to Joey?
Me and Joe are pretty good friends also.
What have y'all talked about concerning all of this?
Just being really upfront and saying, forget Brandon. He brought us into this. We didn't deserve this. So we're just gonna be honest and try to save ourselves and try and get out of the situation.
Do you know what Joey did with his original phone? You know, he got into
Brandon stole his phone.
Brandon stole it.
Yeah.
From
That's true.
This is from what Joey told me. Joey said
Well, again,
Brandon borrowed his car and Joey left his phone in the car.
stop.
Detective changed his story. He lied on the stand about this.
Correct.
This is just a smear campaign. This is
Correct. I know what's truthful, at least to a large degree, what's truthful and what's not truthful. I'm very familiar with the facts in this particular case. Some of the things that he's saying, not truthful, and I'll take that into account. So, but again, I'm allowing the playing of the tape.
Thank you.
And Brandon took it and got joined in fun.
Do you have any idea where those phones are now? There's been some talk about where they might be.
He smashed it and threw it in the lake. I don't know where.
Do you know of anything, any evidence relating to the case that may be in his attic?
Yes,
What's
Joey
that
told me
about?
that. Joey told me that in jail. He said Brandon had Albert told Brandon to put the videos on a flash drive and hide it, and that's I guess he hid it in the crawl space in the attic at his mom's house.
With the phone, you think?
Phone's gone.
Gone.
Yes.
Did he say he smashed it through the water?
Yeah. I saw him smash my phone. Like he hit it against the ground, and then he's like, "I'm going to throw it in the lake." Okay.
Did your girlfriend, was she present, and your lawyer Perez tell her anything about destroying the phone?
No. She knew about things after I did them.
She never had any contact with these phone calls, Perez telling her what to tell you.
No other contact.
Have you ever heard of anything called the California Long Island iced tea?
Yeah, Long Island, I see.
The California version?
No.
Okay.
What is that?
Well, we're not entirely sure, but that is a drink that's come up in this case, and it was blue colored.
I thought they were like brown colored. Yeah.
Yeah,
They're Long Island iced teas or
yeah, but this is referred to
California.
as a,
Yeah, like the California version.
right, but also, it might have had a date rape drug in it, so we didn't know if that was a term that maybe you might have just heard,
No.
either from Brandon or anybody else, that that's kind of what California version was.
No, I've never heard that. Okay.
When's the last time you talked to Brandon or his daughter?
Last time I talked to Brandon was he had had the warrant out for his arrest, and he kind of disappeared for a couple days. And I called him, he was out in San Diego, and he didn't really want to talk about anything. I just wanted to see what he was doing and what's going on. And Albert, I hadn't spoken with since July 25th, the day of the search warrant.
So, but Brandon has came and practiced with the football team since his arrest. And was
Not practice, but we do 7-on-7, which is just passing, no line, and he would jump in with the offense and go against our defense.
So this function by the school, by the university.
Yes, sir.
Did you and Joey ever talk about maybe we need to help Brandon out? Maybe we need to. Did Joey ever kind of mention to you, maybe, hey, this is what we need to do? We need to make sure that we don't talk to the police if we don't.
No, it was all Brandon. It wasn't Joey. It was, and we just weren't trying to be involved, so we just weren't going to say anything. That's how it's going to be. Give him our phone, give him our computer, don't say anything, and that's it.
Do you know of any other girls besides Angie that you know of that Brandon tried to give some kind of drugs?
No, sir.
Okay, so Angie's the only one that you know of, and it didn't work because it didn't crushed up.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know if she ever reported that to anyone, or?
No. I know her boyfriend knows, or her ex-boyfriend now.
What was his name?
Trevor McCann.
And it's her ex?
Yes. And I actually found this out the other day because he went in, he knows my girlfriend, and he went into Chipotle where she works, and they talked about it. And my girlfriend brought up like this, me being involved with Brandon's case, and he's like, "Oh, I hate that kid." And she's like, "Oh, how do you know him? Why?" He tried to put something in my girlfriend's drink. So ultimately, she found out somehow. I didn't know if she ever found out, but her boyfriend knows, and I guess she knows.
Been any contact about any of this with either of Brandon's parents, except for you mentioned the phone switch, so you know about that, but any other?
No.
They haven't contacted you?
Do you think there's anything today that would be pertinent that we need to know that we just haven't come to hands? I mean, now's the time to clear the air. Okay.
Me too.
Anything that was said, done, repeated, rumors, anything to that effect, doesn't necessarily speak to conversations between you and Joey or you and Brandon, but maybe somebody else that he's told that maybe we need to know about and what he can actually relate what took place.
I can't think of anything right now, honestly.
They really never told you.
He never told me what happened.
Involved. He
Yeah.
never accepted your responsibility.
Yes,
for that.
yes.
And he's still destroying everything, phones and everything else. So that makes it a little bit suspicious if something happened when he's saying something.
Yeah, but I could also see, even because it was his room and he was there, that of course he should get in trouble, Just him saying he didn't do anything.
What about drug use, Brandon? You ever know him use cocaine?
Actually, he's coke the first time out here, he told me. He told me he was at a bachelor party for an NFL player. I don't remember who, and there was a bunch of players there. It was pretty big. He said that he did coke for the first time that night, and there was just like a big pile on the table just sitting there, just for everyone to use.
Did he mention about whose house or when that party took place?
No, sir.
He did mention anything about the lady that had put on this party for the NFL players he attended?
No, sir.
So
He talked about a lady who would buy drinks from the bar.
is she the same lady where the party was held?
I don't know.
She's in the same party.
I'm not sure.
What do you say about her?
She said that she bought everyone drinks all the time.
Did he say anything about using drugs on this night?
It could have been the same night he did cocaine, but I don't know. I don't even remember him telling me that he did it once.
Have you ever known him, I guess by things he might have told you, that he would have a hard time maintaining your election in order to have sex? Was this a problem that he had that you know of?
Yeah, because he took something called a pro-hormone, which is it's a steroid, and it affected his libido for a while. So I don't know, because those problems when you stop taking it, and if you don't do the right things, it could definitely carry over and affect your future. So maybe.
Do you know how long he's been using the steroid?
He did actual injection steroids last summer, and then he did a pro-hormone late winter, early spring this year, and that's when he had there'll be issues.
Besides you and Joey, is there anybody else in California who Vandenburg is close to? You might have talked to some of this or not? You know?
No, Joey was his best friend. No, not really.
Okay.
So Joey's indicated to you, he'd like to cooperate like you are,
Yes.
but he's fighting extradition. So
Yeah, he hasn't done anything out here. He doesn't think he needs a lawyer or anything out here. He's just kind of waiting to see what happens.
He knows you're coming in. Right?
Yeah, that's
But you feel
I
so
saw him probably 2 days before school. And I told him, like, you need to really handle this because this isn't going away. And, I'm going there Thursday to take care of things. And I advise you to do the same because it could get pretty ugly if you don't.
I know we talked about Brandon's dad. What about his mom? Did they just swap
Or
the
you want to
phone?
take the play as part
What
of
did
the
she say about this?
decision.
What she know?
Okay, I need to see the transcript to see what it is.
I mean, why don't you read this up?
I don't know exactly, but like the whole time, I just think it was crazy how she had this attitude, but she had the attitude like Brandon was the victim, and Brandon didn't do anything. He was just trying to be a nice guy and look out for the girl, and she just played the victim card with Brandon, and that's how she was. And now thinking about that, why would you go through all that to destroy the evidence? But that's how she really was. It's like, my son's the victim here.
did Brandon ever say why this lawyer wanted him to keep this video on a flash drive?
Brandon never told me that. And I found that out in jail.
from
Joey. Yeah.
Did you ever talk to another lawyer by the name of Neil, first name Neil?
I talked to a female lawyer who is an associate of Albert's.
Right.
And I talked to her for 2 minutes and said, she's like, if you need anything, call me. Don't talk to the police.
But you haven't talked to Neil?
No, I don't believe so.
And that was Mr. Quisnell that was talking to a lawyer named Neil. But I wasn't
Greenberg?
I don't know his last name. Not his current attorney. Somebody,
Oh, okay.
somebody
Okay.
earlier on that was.
No, I never talked to
Okay. Well, that's it. Appreciate your talking to us.
Like I said, we'll have to walk over and run the indictment and get that taken care
Okay,
of.
so,
I just want to do this first.
yeah, we will do that. Let me just say, do you have somewhere you want to?
Yeah, I just want is there,
Do you want, if you want to make a moment to talk,
is there anything you can think of that I'm leaving out? I wish I could five. Let me just read everything.
And if you want a few minutes, we can step out.
Do you have a few minutes,
Yeah,
please?
yeah, we'll let you off.
That's something.
And I'll turn this off.
Yeah, let's turn that off so you all can talk. Tom's here as well, I can just add in.
All right, tender recording.
All right.
Okay,
Okay, any other proof?
Okay.
Yes, it's duly noted.
Yes, Your Honor, just very briefly, we're about to conclude. Next, the victim has asked that Jerome Norman read a very brief statement that she has prepared in lieu of her procedure personally today. And after she reads the statement, we have the attachments that the statement references.
All right.
I had intended to give a detailed victim impact statement at today's sentencing hearing specific to the effects of Mr. Vandenburg's actions. As a result of the last sentencing hearing in this case, that is no longer something I am able to do. I ask that my prior statement be referenced. Also, two professionals who have helped me through this and witnessed the impact on me have submitted letters to you describing what they have seen, and I ask that you consider those. Please do not use my absence as an excuse for leniency, as it in no way diminishes the profound and insidious impact of Mr. Vandenburg on me and my life. I still ask that he receive the full sentence allowed under the law for orchestrating a sustained 30-minute gang rape against me, a defenseless woman who trusted him. The minimum sentence is not enough for what this man did to me.
Again, counsel has been provided the attachments, card, in order, the redacted victim impact statement that was referenced.
All right.
Intended as a standalone exhibit and as a collective exhibit. Letters from Dr. Nancy Cook and to be filed under seal, Dr. Cook's curriculum vitae,
Which I read this morning.
yes, which would establish her credentials for
All right.
opinion in her letter, and well as a letter, again, we've tendered.
All right, thank you.
to the
All right,
council.
what I want to do is just take 10 minutes and then figure this out, okay?
Your Honor, I want to enter an objection to the introduction of the reports about Ms. Swan and Ms. Cook.
All right.
Those are expert reports. We were provided those. The email that came to me was at 7:30 on Wednesday evening. We had no notice of those prior to that. And we would object to those being introduced and being considered by the court for the sentence.
Okay, your objection is noted.
Thank you.
All right, 10 minutes.